On this one point, though, of deporting 11 million people, even Marco Rubio today said this morning it can't be done.
What do you mean, even Marco Rubio? Marco Rubio is in favor of amnesty. He was a member of the Gang of Eight. He was always in favor of amnesty. He was in favor of people pouring into the country. Then what happened is when people found that out, he sank like a rock in the water.
Well, he says he's for anyone with a criminal record, people like that
now
being
he's saying
deported,
things different.
which is something that you would support.
He's much different now than he was in the past, okay? He's much different. Now, as far as criminal, they're going to be out so fast. If I win, you know, we have tremendous problems. I just gave you an article where an illegal alien ran over today in Texas. A policeman 3 times just kept running him over. Look, we have problems. You have Kate in San Francisco. You have the veteran soldier, this wonderful woman who was 66 years old, a retired vet, who was raped, sodomized, and killed by an illegal alien, or as they would say, an illegal immigrant. And this happened 3 weeks ago in California, but it's happening all over. It's a big problem. Crime is a big problem. You also have wonderful people here.
But
they came in, excuse me, they came in illegally. They are here illegally.
But how would you do the logistics of it? How would you do the logistics?
2 things. First of all,
how do you take 11 million people and make them leave?
Fine, you'll do it. It's all a package. Number one, we're going to build a wall. We're going to have people come into the country. I agree,
okay.
But let's go through it. We're going to build a wall. It's going to be a real wall. It's going to be a wall that's powerful and that people aren't going to be going under or up or around or anything else. It's going to be a real wall. And we're going to have a door in the wall. People are going to come into the country legally. And we're going to hopefully get a lot of people coming in, and they're all going to come in legally. We're going to get rid of the bad ones, because we have some really bad ones in here right now. And you know that, gang members in L.A. You look at some of these gangs, they're 100% illegal immigrants. They're going to be gone, okay? And they're going to be gone fast. And they're not going to be in our prisons for us to take care of them. Our prisons are bursting with illegals right now.
What about the law-abiding majority? That's
now
the big
you have
question.
people that came in illegally,
yes,
and they're called illegal immigrants, and they're here illegally. They're going to have to go, and they're going to have to come back in legally. And otherwise, we don't have a country. And if we don't do that, we don't have a country. They're going to have to go, and they're going to have to come in legally. They're going to have to come in through a system. You have right now, Aaron, millions of people that want to come into the country. Millions. They're on a waiting list. They've gone through documentation. They've gone through all sorts of things, and they're waiting on a list, in some cases, for years.
Yes.
And it's very unfair to them. It's very unfair. Now, you can do the work visa thing in terms of the grapes, because I have friends with the grapes, and they may need people. We can do lots of different things.
For the agriculture.
But to come here and stay here, you have to come into the country legally. We either have a country or we don't. If you go to Mexico, Aaron, if you want to be a citizen of Mexico, and let's assume you're a perfect person, okay? You could not become a citizen of Mexico. It's the hardest place just about in the country, in the world, to become a citizen of.
But the question I'm asking, though, is how do you take 11 million people and make them leave?
You do it through a process. You do it in a very humane manner.
But they're not going to want to leave. You're going to have to hire a lot of people to find them and get them over the border, right?
They're here illegally. If a person comes across the border and you send them right back, the Border Patrol sends them right back, there's not a big court situation. They send them back. They're here illegally.
Yes, but what about the guy already living in Detroit?
Excuse me. What's the difference between somebody that comes over the border for 2 days, he gets caught, and they bring him back, and somebody that comes over the border, he's here for a year, and you bring him back? There is no difference. What I'm saying is,
logistically, there's a difference in terms of finding them and getting them to go.
Well,
that's what costs the money, and you have to have the people. That's what I'm trying to understand what you do.
You can also do E-Verify. You do know that. You can do E-Verify, where the employers aren't going to be hiring them, and then everyone's going to go back. That's one way of doing it so that you don't have the problem. You do E-Verify, where an employer has a big problem if he hires these people, and they're going to all go back of their own volition. And that's one way. We have a problem in this country. You know, my book, which is a book that discusses all of this and also talks about solutions, which is really very important. But the book comes out, and the book is doing well because people want the answers to this. I don't want to just be a critic. I want to be somebody that...
Which I understand, which is why I feel the question is fair, right, of how you find them. A lot of these people... I hear your point on E-Verify, which, by the way, when Mitt Romney put that out, hurt him with the Hispanic vote.
I don't care. Look, maybe it hurts, maybe it doesn't. All I know is in Nevada, I'm leading with the Hispanics. In other polls, I'm leading with the Hispanics. You know who I'm leading with? I'm leading with the Hispanics that are here legally. Of course, the way our country is being run, if you're an illegal immigrant now, you're allowed to vote. I mean, the way our country's being run, If you're an illegal immigrant, they have a city, a little town or something in California where the illegal immigrants want to get on the town council. I mean, can you believe this? They want to be on the town council.
But to get them, there's been an estimate out there, which you've seen, right? And I'm sure you'll say you can do it cheaper, but the number is big. To get all these people out of the country,
these are people that don't know what they're talking
say $600 billion. That is bigger than the Department of Defense budget.
Excuse me. They also say it's $15 billion to build a wall that I'll do for $6. And by the way, my wall will be bigger and better and stronger and more powerful. Let me just explain something. Illegal immigration each year costs us between $200 and $300 billion. I don't know if anybody gives you those numbers, probably not. And when you include crime and other problems, it's more than that. So you're talking about between $200 and $300 billion, the way it is now. All right.
But they pay in taxes. They pay $24 billion in taxes.
Do you really believe they pay in taxes?
They pay Social Security, state, and local.
Yeah. What percentage of them? 10%?
It's $24 billion a year this economy wouldn't have if they weren't.
Do you know how few pay taxes, Aaron? Don't be naive. Do you think that an illegal immigrant getting money is going to be paying taxes? Okay, sure. Some probably do, only because the employers are insisting on it, okay? But there's very little, percentage-wise, there's very little, probably 5%, 10%. It's a very small amount pay taxes, Aaron. Look, they're here illegally. They're not paying taxes, okay? I've heard this one before, too. I hear them all. What I do is I get things better. I make things really good. I fix things. And, you know, I'm a real fixer of things, not Jeb Bush, okay? I'm a real fixer. I can really do things. One of the reasons the wall never got built, they couldn't get their environmental impact statement, if you can believe it, because something was in the way. They couldn't get their environmental impact statement. So here's the thing. Between E-Verify, which will take care of a big portion of them, got to go back. And you know what? If they can't get a job, they're going back anyway. We don't have to knock on doors.
I guess, on this point about humanity, though, are you going to be sending in officers?
We're going to be sending in people in a very
into people's
nice
homes
way
to get them out.
We're going to be giving notice. We're going to be saying you have to go back to wherever the country is. I mean, it's going to be countries, all different countries. It's not one country. Back to the country. We'll take them back to those countries. We're going to do it in a very humane way. But between E-Verify and other modern systems, a lot of that will happen automatically. And don't forget, we're taking tremendous numbers of jobs from people that were born in this country. And you understand that because when you look at the rolls, you have 100 million people that potentially want to work and they can't find jobs.
They don't want to pick grapes, though.
Maybe not. And you know what? We can solve that with work visas, where they come in and they work legally, they pay taxes, and then they go out. I'm all for that. I think that's true because I agree with you. They might not want to pick grapes. It's not their thing. I mean, you know, they don't want to do that. And that's okay. But we'll have a work visa where they can come in, work, and then at the right time, they have to go back in.